Nothing is off limits, apparently, in this show.
Get that handle.
Brian, Antonio Brown went into the weekend as a Steeler, and he came out as a Raider. The Steelers traded into Oakland in exchange for a 3rd and 5th round pick. For Pittsburgh, if nothing changes, they're left now with Juju Smith-Schuster as their top receiver. Schuster tweeted this picture on Sunday with the caption, "I'm ready." All right, Brian, where does this trade leave the Pittsburgh Steelers?
Well, I think in football, as you guys know, it's two different things, in the locker room and on the field. And I think in the locker room, this leaves Mike Tomlin an opportunity to really re-injuvenize his character, his culture, the things that he wants. And it also allows Ben Roethlisberger an opportunity to become the leader on that football team again. I remember when T.O. left us. Now, Donovan McNabb has the opportunity to step up as the main leader, as the guy in that locker room. But then you transfer onto the field, and you lose 15 touchdowns. To me, with the aging quarterback, with the running back that the second year trying to get going with James Conner, he's going to see 8-man boxes. Juju Smith-Schuster only seeing single coverage. He's going to see double coverage now. Yeah. It's a different thing on the field, and I saw it the same way. When T.O. left, now I'm seeing 7, 8-man boxes instead of 5, 6-man boxes. A little bit harder to run that way. We're seeing different coverages, a little bit harder to catch the ball. There's going to be a lot of different guys that need to step up. Connor, McDonald, Juju Smith-Schuster, all those guys are going to have to step up. Life without those 15 touchdowns, best receiver in the game, is totally different than with them.
Yeah, and let's look at the last 5 to 10 years. This Pittsburgh Steelers defense hadn't been real good. How the Pittsburgh Steelers have won those games have been based on their special teams and on that offense. So I believe that they'll have a competent offense around Ben. I believe they'll get their tight ends more involved. I do believe they have talented tight ends that were underutilized. But, man, they're in for a rude awakening because you can say what you want. High school coach taught me this, George Smith. Hey, Chris, it ain't the X's and O's, it's the Willies and the Joes.
That's right.
And we got them, Chris. And when we got them, people will see that. They don't have them in Pittsburgh anymore. So it's an opportunity for not only for Ben Roethlisberger to be able to tinker with his image and his leadership, but more importantly, Mike Tomlin. Because I believe this is going to be one of the stones that break the back of Mike Tomlin with the Pittsburgh Steelers, because they have been very, very patient. But when you run the type of organization that they have run, and we have seen the type of talent that left that locker room with no to little compensation, it's criminal. It's criminal to have 2 of the all-time best at their position. And what do you say? Because when you look at the players, next year they're going to have drafted that 3rd round pick and that 5th rounder. You got nothing but air for Le'Veon Bell leaving. So now you're going to see, and you got these 2 players.
For those 2 players.
For those 2 players?
For arguably the best running back and arguably the best wide receiver in all of football. And so this might ultimately fall on Mike Tomlin, but the Steelers front office got to look itself in the mirror now. Because each step of the way, they misjudged, I would argue, both of these situations. Yeah. With Antonio Brown, this time last year, they redid his contract, not to give him more money, but to free up cap space for them for the 2018 season, which they needed in part because they had franchise tag Le'Veon Bell, and he was going to have a $15 million cap hit. That's why Antonio Brown's cap hit, if he were on the Steelers this year, was going to be $22 million. And with him off the Steelers, it's $22 million. Antonio Brown on the Steelers in 2019 is the biggest dead money hit in NFL history. Wow. That's self-inflicted. That is because of a restructure they did, because they didn't see this coming. Additionally, one of the reasons Le'Veon didn't agree to a long-term deal, one of the reasons Antonio was upset with his contract was they have a general philosophy of except for the quarterback, we're not guaranteeing any dollars after year 1. Well, now you have had maybe the best running back and maybe the best wide receiver go out the door, and what you got back was the 66th and 141st picks of the draft.
And perhaps a little peace in that locker room. But does that peace translate to success on the field?
Well, you get peace in the locker room, then the other teams in your division are getting better. Baltimore, they're trying to get better with Lamar Jackson. The Cleveland Browns somehow continue to get better, a lot more talent there. So you may have some peace in the locker room, but wins on the field keep people having jobs. That's the most important thing. When you let that type of talent go, it's hard to get those wins. 15 touchdowns, it's a reason why Antonio Brown has had 6 seasons over 100 yards, a bunch of catches. He's a special player.
B, tell me, would you rather have peace or us winning and fighting like cats and dogs?
Oh, no, we want to win. I mean, listen, I want everybody to get paid, and it's nice to have peace, but winning games is the reason why we're there. Winning championships is certainly our goal.
And there are no good locker rooms in the NFL when you lose.
No.
Yeah. You know what? We don't get sound bites by them because we don't even go there for sound bites because that's a losing team. And the Pittsburgh Steelers is a winning organization. This is one of the biggest challenges that they would have faced in recent history. How do you survive taking that cap hit? Because for me, when they came back compensation 3-for-5, I would have laughed at them and told them, listen,
not enough. He's
going to play football for me. He's going to play football for me. He's not going to play football for anyone else. I'm not giving up the best receiver in the game because he's not happy. And it's about them guarantees. He wanted a new contract. He could have salvaged the situation with the quarterback.
Well, and the other element is the guy whose tweet we showed, Juju. Juju's numbers say he's ready to step into a #1 role. That's what his numbers say. We took a deeper look at it before the show. He was double teamed on less than 1% of snaps last year.
Right.
And the majority of that 1% happened in the final week when Antonio wasn't there. So Antonio was double teamed on nearly 10% of snaps last year. Juju's going to be facing a totally different football reality this coming season than his rookie season. He had teams that were worried about Le'Veon Bell and Antonio Brown. Last year, he had a situation where teams were worried about Antonio Brown. Now, who's the guy you want to take away on Pittsburgh? Juju. And maybe
No, James Conner.
Okay.
Yeah, James Conner. It's not Juju.
You start there with James Conner, but
yes, because their offensive line is very good, and that's what they decided to do. These people over here, you didn't want it, so we're going to refortify the guys who have been good to us. Foster, Pouncey. We're going to extend those guys, the center and guard.
But you were going to say on passing downs. All coverage is going to be tilted towards Juju.
Yeah, the passing game will be centered around Juju and the tight ends.
And yeah, Vance McDonald, a very good tight end.
Vance McDonald, yes.
Very good tight end. But listen, they're going to have to throw the ball. This is a passing league right now.
Yep.
Of course, James Conner went out there and handled his business in the absence of Le'Veon Bell. But it's a passing league. Juju will feel the difference without having Antonio Brown there.
And in a passing league, only the Green Bay Packers threw the ball on a higher percentage of downs than the Pittsburgh Steelers last year. So are they going to be able to remake on the fly in an offseason the type of team they are? Because I don't think you can throw the ball 68% of the time the way they did last year without Antonio Brown. And I don't know, James Conner was very good early in the season, trailed off a bit late. Can he be a workhorse back throughout the season at a high level? These are all real questions they have.
You have to factor in age and health of your quarterback as well. How healthy can Ben Roethlisberger be entire season-wise, and how much can that age and his deterioration because he's getting older, how will that be handled in that locker room as well?
Yeah, I don't think Ben at this point, because him and his agent are talking with Pittsburgh about an extension. To me, Ben Roethlisberger not signing no extension to hand the ball off.
No.
Okay, so regardless of, we try to put an offense around, okay, what's our talent level? So we'll try to highlight the talent level. The talent level on that offense starts with that quarterback. And it's not his ability to be able to hand the ball off. It's to be able to throw the ball down the field, to be able to vary the offense, call audibles, and to be able to get them into the right plays consistently. So even though they don't have the talent, now, I can say this, the Pittsburgh Steelers, in the last 15 years, they have drafted wide receivers better than any team in the National Football League, and it's not even close. They don't use high compensation to be able to get their players, but, man, they have developed 4 or 5 guys who were featured in offenses either in Pittsburgh or Mike Wallace, Emmanuel Sanders, when guys who went other places like so. They have done a tremendous job of cultivating wide receiver talent there.
This organization took a big hit PR-wise.